All right, I'm going to speak in Pig Latin just to make it interesting. So this is the Southern Tier mixed chorus, right?
Yes.
I think both together.
Yes.
So it's
Right. Great job today, by the way. It was a lot of fun. This is the music category. My name's Clay Hine, music judge up from Atlanta. My colleague, Rafi Hasib from New York, who's a candidate judge and done a great job judging today and finding other contests to judge during a pandemic. So has more experience than most of us judges judging. So he's also has some good feedback we'll let him jump in with. Would you like a short overview of the music category? Great. So the music category judges the song and arrangement as performed, which is sort of a nebulous description. I'll be a little more less nebulous. We look at the musicality of your performance. So musicality in barbershop is the same as musicality in any other style of music. So we look at things like, are we singing in tune? And any other style of music that's got instruments or band, other people singing, looks to be in tune. We look at things like, are we singing together? If we're listening to a band and there's instruments that aren't quite with the rhythm, we notice that as a distraction. It's not as musical. Things like the delivery. Is it really sensitive to a story? Is it helping the audience feel happy, sad, joyful, regretful, whatever kind of emotions we want to have them feel? Are we doing that through the music? Is there a theme? So anytime we're telling a story, anytime we've got 3 minutes in a song, we want to make sure there's a story from beginning to end, and there's this theme that helps drive that story. Maybe it's brilliant lyrics, poetic lyrics, maybe it's a lovely melody, maybe it's a fun rhythm. All of those things are themes that we might use to help tell the story to the audience. And then when we have a band, we'll have instruments playing da-da-da-da-da-da at the end of phrases and stuff like that. When we have a barbershop group, we don't have instruments, so we have things like swipes, embellishments, other things that we put in to help the music remain interesting and have development and have a journey. All those things are elements of musicality in any style. They're elements that happen to be on our score sheet, which is why I looked at the score sheet as I was saying that are just elements of musicality in barbershop. And we have this barbershop filter, which we look at that says, are we singing good barbershop songs? Obviously, Always and Blue Skies are pretty solid barbershop songs. Everyone got that? My brief little musicality overview. How did you feel about your performances today?
Felt good.
Oh, good.
We
Good.
thought we really fired on all cylinders with who we are right now.
Good.
We're excited.
Good. So when you say who we are right now,
Well, we were one of the fortunate ones in Seneca Land who's weathered the storm and stayed together.
Good.
And score-wise, we're probably about where we were from 2.5 years ago. And we've lost some guys, gained some guys. But like a lot of choruses, we wish we had about 20 more people. But
Oh, yeah.
on a good night, we have maybe 20 at rehearsal.
Okay, great. Well, I mean, I thought your performance was great. You have a very easy sound, which is terrific, especially Always. I mean, Always is a wonderful song for this group because it's a very uncomplicated message, a really clear message, and just the barbershop song that goes around the song Always matches that message really well. And you have just a very kind of simple, straightforward sound in your chorus. It's just easy and fun to listen to. And that fits Always, I think, really, really well. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. I did score, so I scored it the same for both choruses. I did think there was slightly more brilliance in what you did when they had the ladies joining you, especially in Blue Skies. Blue Skies has a lower kind of tessitura, and I think it was had a little more clarity to it with the ladies kind of helping with the ring and the ping and the sound. So just for what that's worth. But the performances were very similar. I mean, good job coming out back to back and doing really good performances both times. In Always, I mentioned just a really nice, easy, uncomplicated sound. And uncomplicated doesn't necessarily sound like a compliment, but I mean it as one, because it's just this easy, straightforward message. There was some nice some really nice musical things happening, especially in the lead sound. Very easy delivery, very clear to kind of tell the story or to connect with the story with what your leads were doing. I think your basses and baritones can do more to match that clarity and that ease of delivery that the leads have. Sometimes as harmony singers, it's easy to not have quite as much music in our delivery because we rely on the leads for that, and we think more about locking and ringing, which is also important. But sometimes as harmony singers, we could use even more melody in our delivery, in our musical delivery. I think basses and baritones could probably use a bit more of that to come up to the leads to match what they're doing in all ways. Does that make sense? Rafi, you want to add anything to that?
Sure. So I think in general, there's a lot of as Clay was saying, this sort of easy, free delivery that was happening there. As Clay mentioned earlier, one of the things that sets Barbershop apart in being a cappella is we have a lot of embellishments. So there were a lot of spots in this song of Always, this is now one of the great ones. There's a part where in the first melody, I'll be loving, the bass will go loving you, and that was very melodic. Those are the sort of things we want to do always. And throughout any embellishment, whether it's an echo or a swipe. And I found a lot of the times we had this always, and then there's some sort of echo that's meant to emphasize that. And it just came in just a little more timid than the original message. Always being the premier word of this. Anytime the title of the song comes, we want to make sure we arrive to it as, I had to say it again because I had to say it again. So there's this so while it's a free song, we do need to have the sense of destination. And then if there's an echo, there's this idea of emphasis, right? If your parents are scolding you and they're repeating, the second time's usually not less. So that may also help just as far as having a free rhythm, but having the sense of moving forward. These embellishments help propel it to the next idea. So all of this works together, and it's what frees us from simply a free sound to a more focused, directional sound. So that's sort of the next big step.
A couple other little nits on Always. Rafi mentioned that bass melody the second time through. When you go through days when I'm there always, that's when I'll be there always. There's a swipe on that ways chord right there. Both times with both groups, there was an extra note in the second chord. So I think you just make sure you're clean on that. And the extra note fit into the chord very well. But there was clearly way haze, and I thought, wow, there's 5 parts there, haze, and now we're back to 4. So some very creative budding arranger in your chorus had a different idea of what that chord should be, so just check
That
that.
might have been me, and I don't even know it.
There you go. There you go. So not for just an hour, not for just a day. Hey, and there's a pause. Make sure a pause still has music in it. That felt like the music stopped.
Okay.
Okay, so there still needs to be a sense of release maybe on the pause. Something, there's a reason, a musical reason for a pause. And a pause can't just be, wait a minute, the story will restart. Something needs to be happening just in terms of your body language or where you're thinking the next phrase starts to feel like there's some connection there. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Blue Skies. So Blue Skies is a swing tune, right? Blue skies, smiling at me. Blue Skies is a happy song, right? Even though it is in a minor key through a bunch of it. It's a happy song. Blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Never saw the sun shines. Everything about it is various stages of happy. It does feel, because of the tessitura, that it's a little heavier than Always. And when I say tessitura, it's just lower in your range, and it's minor. So it feels just a little heavier than Always, and it really shouldn't. It should still have a wonderful lilt to it. The minor key says nothing. When you look at the lyrics, there's nothing in the lyrics that says, here's where I was sad, but then I saw blue skies. I mean, the whole song is about seeing blue skies. Keep that nice, always kind of feel in your voice, that the wonder of I'll be loving you always still should be there in blue skies, smile, in blue skies, right? And then there's we still need to feel that. We need to feel that swing a little more easily. Right now, it didn't quite have the freedom in that swing, and that what we might call the rhythmic groove didn't feel quite swingy enough. And maybe that's part of it being happier. Maybe with a happier, liltier feel to the rhythm, then we would have that reflected in our vocal delivery. Make sense?
I remember the last time we had this judge, somebody helped me with the the lead singer named from Ringmasters.
Oh, Rasmus, yeah.
He told us we had to often think of going on the second beat. And,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to feel that. Just any of those ways work. So if it's the second beat, then you're just feeling, and you're just feeling that part of that rhythmic groove. Whatever works for you to feel that groove, just make sure we feel that. Rasmus is a percussionist, so he's probably has a better way to say it than I do. So I might go with that. But yes, you just need to feel that swing rhythm. And it's a little more apparent even when we get into the second chorus and we've got the solos. Never saw the sun shine in the right, never saw things go to the right, wherever. Maybe I did those backwards. But even there with those solos, first of all, the solos need to have a little more color to them. So that's the non-lead parts singing some solos. When you're not a lead and you're singing a solo, you definitely need to have a lead-like quality, which comes back to that lilt that I mentioned in your voice, where you're going da 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 da, whatever the notes are supposed to be. Just that more brilliant, happier, joyful quality that you would communicate with more melody in your voice, and then stick into that swing kind of feel. Making sure that we still keep that swing kind of feel in it. Make sense? So just more color in the delivery of those solos. Both times, by the way, I think you nailed the last chord of Blue Skies. I think my score came up a point in both times because you got to that last chord and I thought, whoa, that's pretty good.
Well, since we did your arrangement, we were thinking maybe 80, but that's okay.
Well, all of these things I'm telling you will hopefully help you get there.
Yes.
Also watch, and you rang it pretty well actually, going to be a wonderful day. Make sure that as we hold that and enjoy holding it, we don't feel like we're sitting on it. So it still needs to feel like there's some development and direction to it. Yeah, exactly. I think maybe more the first time actually, it felt like we kind of stopped on it a bit. Make sure that it feels like it's going somewhere. Great. Any questions about any of that? Rafi, did you want to add
Sure.
anything?
So if I could add anything to Blue Skies, as Clay was saying, we have to have that feel. We need to have that happiness, even though it's minor. And one thing that this song offers, if you think about it, the message is pretty fluffy. Blue skies, I'm happy. I'm still happy. Never saw the sun. I'm happy. So what makes this song interesting as we keep propelling it forward is this idea of contrast. So we have this blue skies, and then we have it again, and then we have the never saw the sun. That is a very different sound compared to the previous one. And as an audience, we want to feel that page turn. And then never saw the sun shining so bright. So we do that as sections, and then we have solos, that sort of thing happens. And then we arrive back at that verse, but it's a key change up. So every one of these page turns, we need to feel something more is there. So, and we can't just be happier. And what I felt from the song was like it was rock solid as far as we have enough of that joy, but it was almost too much of the same kind of joy. And right now in the song, there's contrast, whether it's a different feel or a different melody transfer. So it's this fun little juggling game of making sure the melody always feels present no matter who's singing it, but also anytime we change things up a little bit, it feels different enough to say, I needed to say more, and I'm doing it this way. And now I'm doing it this way. And now we have a key change. And now the tag. So we don't want it to go too long where there isn't that. So as you explore that and you direct that, we'll find different ways as we take personal responsibility to think, oh, here's the story. This is why I'm still singing about blue skies. This is why it's different this time. So as you do that, it'll be more interesting for the audience, and we'll just keep tapping our foot and feel more joy. So lots of possibilities there. Am I making sense? I know that's a lot of like, oh, more joy, but great.
Great. We just got a few fingers, not just the one finger, but
They were nice fingers.
yes.
So
Thanks for being here, y'all. It was really fun watching you today and fun listening
Thank
to
you.
you. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Great job.
Met you 100 years ago at the Buckeye Invitational Night.
Yeah.